Analyzing projects before they come out as well as after they come out is something very important to do in the crypto space. And since I've been a project founder myself and looked at tons of projects, probably thousands of projects now, I've gotten a pretty good idea of what to actually look for to see if they are going to do well in both the short and long term. So in this video, I'm going to go over my personal checklist as well as what actually is project analysis. So first things first, what is project analysis? Project analysis is when you research every aspect of an upcoming project release or one that's already out there to try to evaluate the fair token value price. And this is very similar to stock market, guys, where you look at different companies, you might look at their balance sheets, whatever the case is, and you might say, hey, I think this is undervalued and I think this is going to do well in the long term. It's the same exact thing, but for crypto. And like I said in the second point here, it's just like looking at a stock company. It's very important to check out various metrics to track the current and potential future performance. Now, crypto is a little bit special when it comes to this different analysis because we don't always have the numbers or the financial statements or the cash flow sheets or the balance sheets, whatever the case is. A lot of times you don't even know who the team is. The space and tech move very rapidly. There's a lot of price volatility in the market, and a lot of things are still based on speculation, hype, and attention when it comes to how these tokens are actually being priced. And what's interesting about crypto to even further this point is that crypto have tokenomics rather than shares of a company, and these tokenomics with their distributions as well as emissions can have an immense impact on the actual price of the project. And then another step of this is that there are all these different blockchains out there, and what you'll notice is that you can't analyze a project on Solana the same way that you can analyze a project on Cardano, simply because that ecosystem and that community will interact with the coins differently. And sometimes the market sentiment or the community sentiment within those different blockchains or ecosystems will differ, and that'll impact the overall price of these different projects. Now, if you're able to get really good at this, this is where you can really make a shit ton of money in the space, especially if you're getting into projects before they actually come out in their token sale. Now, this is a list of things that I personally look for. I actually have an Excel spreadsheet where each time I invest a lot of money into a project, I'll give a 1 out of 5 rating for each of these and get a total score. And this is personally what I like to look at. Some of these are a little bit more important than others, but I haven't really ranked them or ordered them in this way. These are just kind of the checklist things I like to look for. The first thing I look for is the product's purpose and what their success depends on. Are they trying to be a borrowing and lending protocol? Are they trying to start a mining company? Are they trying to, be NFTs for ticket systems? Are they trying to build a brand or an IP? What exactly are they trying to build, and what is the dependency of the success? If you're trying to build an IP and brand project or company, okay, well, your success is going to depend on how many people actually like that brand and like the theme and like that message and want to be a part of that community. And a lot of that is going to depend on how well you make content and develop a community. So this is what I like to look for, and I like to compare that to other projects in the space to see how difficult it's going to be for this project to actually pull off what they're trying to do. I also like to look at the roadmap and catalyst news. What is coming after this token launches, or what is going to be coming in the future? A lot of times, if it's something big, there's going to be a lot more eyes in that point in time. And if you got in during a boring phase of the project, or if you got in day one, now you can wait for those different moments where a lot of people might pay attention, and that's when you can exit your liquidity. I also like to see if they have some sort of revenue or cash flow model. A lot of projects go bellies up because they've run out of funds. So I want to see if their product is actually something that can generate revenue after their initial token sale. Branding and design is another important thing. If they have good quality branding and it's even throughout their website, throughout their socials, throughout how they communicate, then that is something that indicates that they know what they're doing, in my opinion. I also like to check out their website quality. A lot of people are very visually focused people, and if they don't have a website that easily gives me all the information that I need to see about the project, then it's going to be hard for them to onboard more people in the future. Organization of information can be in multiple points, but I want to be able to easily get the information about their project in under a couple minutes on their white paper or on their website or on their Twitter, on their Discord, on their YouTube, whatever the case is. I need to be able to understand this project very quickly. And if I can't understand it very quickly, then how are other people also going to be able to understand it quickly and want to get involved? I also like to see if the team is known or doxed. A lot of teams are still anonymous in this space, but if you know the team, then you can give additional trust to them. Another important factor is community engagement and sentiment, aka hype. A lot of things are attention based and all based on hype. So I like to see that their Twitters are getting a lot of engagement. I like to see if their Discord posts are getting a lot of engagement. I like to see how many people are actually chatting and commenting. I like to see how many server boosts are over on Discord. And I also like to see on Twitter if they're actually using bots, because I've been fooled in the past where you have all these same accounts commenting on the same Twitter when in reality they were all bots. So be careful. Since it is an attention-based economy, marketing is a very, very important point. I like to see if they have consistent marketing, if their graphics are looking solid, and if they're making content that is engaging for different users, and that can be showcased through the analytics on these different sites. Another important aspect is communication. Are they making YouTube videos? Are they going on Spaces? Are they hosting AMAs on Discord? I like to see communication, and a lot of projects really lack in this. If they aren't able to communicate their products or ideas, then how are they ever going to grow their community or product? Another important thing to look at is the tokenomics. You need to see if those different tokens are actually providing utility that is going to track the success of the platform, aka, hey, we take a percentage of revenue, we buy back our token and burn it, versus, hey, you can just vote for shit that doesn't actually matter. The tokenomics are also very important to see what the emission schedule is going to be and how much supply is already out versus coming out. I do actually like to see some VC investment. Whenever a VC invests, it gives a little bit more trust for that team, because a lot of times they have to dox to those different investment firms, and that gives me a higher likelihood that they won't just rug. And I like to make sure that these VCs have a cliff invest so they can't just dump the tokens right away. The next thing I look at is their token sale and format. How exactly are they doing the raise and the structure? If it's something like a pro rata and a bunch of money gets sent in, for example, over their initial target, then I can have a lot more confidence in that than something that's just a first come, first serve. I also like to see the market conditions. If it's launching on Solana and Solana just took a massive dip in the market, or the market overall has been going down, then the token can have a negative impact because of that. The next thing I like to see is confirmed sex listings. Sometimes they can't actually announce this, but sometimes you can get a little bit of a speculation, or they kind of tease that they already have some centralized exchanges lined up. And this is very important because decentralized exchanges only have so many users. I also like to see the amount of money that they have for liquidity pools. If they don't have a lot of money for the liquidity pool, which in my opinion is at least 20% of the sale or raise, or if they've already had a token that's been out and they don't have a lot of liquidity there, or they don't have a centralized exchange, then you're in a situation where there can be a lot more sell pressure without having the liquidity to actually back that. And that can be another negative for projects that aren't allocating enough towards liquidity. I then also like to see comparable projects in the same ecosystem. I like to see what their competition is, what their market caps are, and how they're executing all of these other aspects that I'm looking for compared to this token that I'm about to purchase. And a lot of times this can give me a very good idea of where this market cap should be and whether or not it's over or undervalued in the current market, or also before they actually release their token. Another thing that's nice if they've done this in the past is if they've already launched some sort of NFT or fungible token in the past, or if they already have a DApp that has a lot of metrics, because then there's a lot less guesswork, because you know this is a team that has already delivered. You know it's a team that you can trust. You know it's a team that's been here for a while, and you know that whatever product they have is already having strong metrics. The moment that you're buying into something that hasn't actually been released yet is the moment that the risk is a lot higher, because now you don't know if they're actually going to be able to deliver on that product or be successful when they do. The very last thing here is partnerships and collabs. If they're partnering with other projects in the space and doing different Twitter spaces and looking for different synergies, then I think that this is usually a better team, and a team that is networking harder is going to usually end up performing better. Now, this is the personal list that I have. I think it's very important to have some sort of list or system that you go through for every single investment that you do, because then you're able to get way less blind spots and not miss something that could have really impacted your investment decision. I also recommend joining some sort of group like Jelly Cubes, for example, where we have a lot of people that analyze these different projects, and having unbiased open dialogue about some of these different investment opportunities. Not getting too married to your bag or too married to your decision or analysis, but really be able to hear them out, because they might be able to give a different perspective or opinion on a token than what you personally came to the conclusion to. And if you have 5, 10, 15, 20 people that are all smart and good at analyzing projects, and they all think a token is a go or going to do well, then the likelihood that's going to do well is way higher than you just doing all of this by yourself. Overall, the more that you do this, guys, and the more that you build out a system and have a checklist of things to look for, the better you're going to get at analyzing these different projects. And if you haven't checked out my tokenomics video or sales structures video in this learning program series, definitely check that out because it has a huge impact on my analysis.